Alright everyone, so the phone showdown or phone comparison that absolutely no one asked for, the Galaxy S25 FE versus the Galaxy A17 5G. How much more does $450 extra get you? Stay tuned. Alright everyone, so just like I said, the Galaxy S25 FE is going to be on the left side and the Galaxy A17 5G is on the right side. Of course, the Galaxy A17 5G just released at a price tag of $200 and the Galaxy S25 FE released at a price tag of $649. That is a $450 difference between these phones, and we're going to compare some specifications, and you guys may actually be surprised with some of the specifications that we get out of both these devices. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start this out. Alright everyone, so first and foremost, the form factors on these phones. Of course, the Galaxy S25 FE does have a more premium form factor and design language. We're going to have an aluminum chassis on this phone. It's going to feel very, very nice and premium all around this phone. Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and the back of the phone as well. So it's going to have an all-around very nice and premium build. However, the weird thing is the Galaxy A17 5G, a device that is completely made out of plastic, is going to be 192 grams compared to the Galaxy S25 FE's 190 grams. So the Galaxy A17 5G actually weighs 2 more grams. Very, very weird right there. So we have a pretty slim Galaxy S25 FE, and it's not going to weigh a ton either, so that's great to see on the Galaxy S25 FE. As far as our biometrics, the Galaxy A17 5G is going to be using a side-mounted fingerprint sensor. That is alright. It's not the craziest fingerprint sensor in the world. And of course, the Galaxy S25 FE is going to have an optical fingerprint sensor in the display, so it's not going to be using a side-mounted fingerprint sensor. Now, the Galaxy S25 FE does have more colors. We have navy, we have jet black, we have white, and we have icy blue. For the Galaxy A17, we have black, we have gray, and we have blue. So more colors on the S25 FE, and I believe the S25 FE has a limited edition color, if I'm not mistaken, on the Samsung website. As far as the IP ratings, the S25 FE has an IP68 water and dust resistance, and the Galaxy A17 has an IP54 water and dust resistance. So of course, we're going to have a better rating on the S25 FE. Getting into the display size, both these devices are going to be 6.7-inch displays. The Galaxy A17 being 86% screen-to-body ratio with, of course, that ugly teardrop notch. And the S25 FE is going to have that hole punch notch and have an 88% screen-to-body ratio. So a better screen-to-body ratio by about 2%. On the Galaxy S25 FE, we're also going to have a dynamic AMOLED 2X display, 120 Hz refresh rate, and a 1900 nits peak brightness. On the Galaxy A17, we're going to have a Super AMOLED display with a 90 Hz refresh rate and about 800 nits peak brightness on this device. So of course, the displays are going to be night and day. However, I still think the Galaxy A17 looks very, very good for this price tag. Amazing, amazing display for the budget arena. Under the hood, both these devices are going to have an Exynos processor. The S25 FE having, of course, the more premium Exynos 2400, and of course the Galaxy A17 having the Exynos 1330. Very, very underwhelming processor in the Galaxy A17, especially considering the Galaxy A14 5G had the Exynos 1330. Very, very sad news for the A17. As far as the internal storage, both are going to have 128 gigabytes of internal storage for the base models. The A17 is going to have 4 gigabytes of RAM for the base model, and the S25 FE is going to actually have 8 gigabytes of RAM for its base model. As far as the operating system updates, we do have a very, very excellent policy for the S25 FE. We are one of the first devices to receive Android 16, so this has Android 16 out of the box, and we have 7 years of operating system updates. So amazing stuff right there. On to the Galaxy A17. A little bit worse. Of course, we released with Android 15 and only 6 years of operating system updates. Still very, very impressive for the price tag of $200. As far as the batteries in these devices, the S25 FE is going to have a 4900 milliamp battery, and the Galaxy A17 is going to have a 5000 milliamp battery. So this device actually has a better battery inside of here. As far as the charging rates, the S25 FE is going to have a wired charge rate of 45 watts, and of course a wireless charging rate of 25 watts. So very, very impressive stuff, and beautiful to see that we have upgraded since the S24 FE as well. Going to the Galaxy A17, we have 25 watt fast charging on this device. However, there is no wireless charging on the Galaxy A17. Kind of disappointing since wireless charging has been out for so long. As far as the cameras go, the S25 FE is going to have a 50 megapixel main camera. Our secondary is going to be a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Our third is going to be an 8 megapixel telephoto. And of course, we're going to have a front facing camera that's rated at 12 megapixels. And of course, we can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second on the rear and the front of the S25 FE. Now on the Galaxy A17 5G, our main camera is going to be a 50 megapixel sensor. Our secondary is going to be a 5 megapixel ultra wide, and our third is going to be a 2 megapixel macro camera. And we do have a 13 megapixel front facing camera for the front camera right there on the A17. And as far as the quality, the S25 FE is going to blow the Galaxy A17 out of the water, and we'll probably do a photo and video comparison on that later on. Both devices have NFC. Both devices do not have a headphone jack inside of here. So of course, the clear winner of this video is going to be the S25 FE. But as far as value comes, I think the Galaxy A17 offers a lot of value, especially if you're not used to budget phones out there. Some of you may be impressed with the Galaxy A17 for how much it offers for a $200 price tag. So let me know in the comment section down below, would you pay $450 more for the Galaxy S25 FE? So that was the Galaxy S25 FE versus the Galaxy A17. If you want more videos like this, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. This has been Safon from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.